Hello friend, it's Mark out on the back 40. In this episode, I'm just going to go over what I know so far after having Tar River DRL 072 grain drill for a season of planting. But you can see first thing I have to do is off season it turns into a very expensive shelving unit. So I'm going to clean it up here a second so we can get to some of these pieces and parts and go over it right now. All right, it's cleaned off enough to get at it to kind of go through everything. So I think I'll just start maybe at the top and work my way down and just kind of tell you, show you, tell you. And, a year, 2 years from now, I might have a completely different opinion of the machine. But right now, after 1 year of use, I'm telling you what it is. So the box is steel, well painted, heavy duty. I like it. Inside, stainless steel. These liners are stainless steel. The gears and all the mechanisms down in there are a composite, so they're not going to rust. Now, what will fertilizer do to them? I don't know, but I suspect it shouldn't do anything, but I don't know. I haven't run fertilizer through it yet. So while I'm talking about fertilizer, are there steel components on here? Yes. And so what I tell you is, if you can look down in here, and do you see all the hardware? There's like every opening has 4 nuts and bolts around it. I have a trusty magnet here. And if I put that magnet on there, it sticks. Here, I'll give you an example here, like this right here. See this? That magnet sticks to that, so all the hardware is steel. So if fertilizer gets on all those nuts and bolts, it's probably gonna make them rusty. So that's one thing to think about. But the liner is stainless steel, and the gears and seed cups and everything are plastic, so I don't think the fertilizer will kill that. But I guess if you wash it out with water really well, it would take a lot of time to get to the point where it's an issue with the ends of the bolts rusting. I guess I'm not sure how much of an issue that really would be. So anyways, I thought that the machine worked really, really well. I planted 2 different times, and I've got videos on the channel that you can go back to and look at that. More details on the planting, what I've done. I just want to talk about maybe the pros and cons of the machine. So what I like about the machine is that 3-point hitch. So for me in the food plots, it's easy to pick it up on the back of the tractor here. It's easy to pick it up, and I have a lot of small plots that have curves and trails and things like that. So it's 6 feet wide. I can get in there, and it doesn't take forever to turn around or forever to, like a trailer, like the old kind that you back up, the old kind of drills, you got to back them up, set it down, make one, 20-yard pass, pick it back up, back it all up like a trailer again. It just takes a long, long time. This thing is easy. Pick it up, back up, set it down, go forward, pick it up, and it just goes. So I like the 3-point hitch, even though it doesn't do the quick hitch. And I did that in another video too. I complained about that, but it's not that big a deal, I guess. I only use it twice a year. So I guess while I'm here, let's just start moving our way down. It's got flaps on it right here that block the holes in here. Say you wanted to plant corn or soybeans, 30-inch rows or something like that, you would block a couple of these so that not every 7 inches was planting like it's set up. So to close a couple of them, and then you'll only be doing 30-inch rows for your corn, okay? Again, you can see it's plastic. It's not super heavy duty like the old John Deeres and the old Van Brunts and the old McCormicks, like those old farmer machines. Everything's steel and metal, made to last forever and go forever and ever and ever. This is not that kind of a machine. This is, I would call a light duty. I wouldn't even call it a medium duty. I would call it a light duty machine. Tons and tons of connectors on it that, over time are going to loosen up, and you have to tighten them. So, and then even the way that things are connected, the wheels are connected onto this frame, you can kind of see that everything's just bolted together. And of course, 1,000,000 bolts means 1,000,000 points of things loosening up. And so I guess maybe that would be a con, is just the way it's assembled, but it's light duty and it's very inexpensive. So got to be thinking about what you want there. So yeah, plastic tubes. Everything worked pretty good this year. I mean, I didn't have any issues with anything, nothing clogged up. It worked well. Stainless steel there. Now, as you move your way down here, I'll talk maybe a little bit about the plates here. So the plates are good. They're sturdy. They're metal. They're heavy duty. They worked fine. They're not real sharp. You can see, I don't know if you can see the detail. This one is sharp And this one on the other side is just got a flat edge on it. So it's not like both of them are sharp. I do like the mud scrapers. That worked really well. The concern that I think you've seen I have put on here before is that it doesn't look like there's a lot of travel on these wheels. And so I think when you hit a little undulation in the ground, it kind of jumps over it. So next year I'm gonna try putting more weight on it to see if I can close that gap and get more planting. But I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So this might be a little rough on the video here, but see this spring right here? So this is the travel, you know, this is the spring that's pushing this down into the ground. This is the travel that it has. So it doesn't have, you can see it's only like 3 inches of travel, but if you look at those old grain drills, or even new grain drills for that matter, I bet they've got, gosh, it's gotta be a foot of travel. So that is one thing that I think I discovered, it could be better, but again, it's a very inexpensive machine, very inexpensive. So as I move towards the back now, you know, everything is built good enough. It's not super heavy and it's not light and flimsy. It's good enough. You know, the shelf here works out well. This whole structure here works out well. The wheel is good. I guess maybe I'll talk a little bit about the back here. I'm going to turn the camera around. So these flaps right here are to close the dirt and then the little cultipacker behind it. You know, we are no-tilling with this machine. This machine is made to go into completely prepared and tilled ground. And I think it would do a great job with these flaps and cultipacker to get the seed in the ground and cover it up. But for what we do with no-till, with a lot of thatch on the ground, it doesn't do the greatest job. I mean, these flaps, you know, they kind of knock some stuff over, but not everything. And the cultipacker probably touches 20% of the ground that we're working on. So, you know, it's almost like you wouldn't even necessarily need those, but it's nice because maybe it closes some up and gets some seed to germinate that wouldn't if you didn't do anything. This right here is the adjustment, and what this does is it moves the carriage wheel right there up and down. So this whole mechanism is adjusting how far into the ground the discs go relative to the 3-point hitch where it's hooked up. So basically what this is doing, you can see how it's this spring right here, it's connected here. So as you screw that thing down, it pushes those down, you screw it up, it brings them up. So I had to put it as far down as I could to get these about 1 inch in the ground. And what I found was this, I think on the other side, this broke. One of these spindles broke. So I kind of just used the nut with a big wrench and wrenched it down. So, but it still worked, you know. I mean, it still got it to do what it had to do. But again, you know, just good enough. So I think that is probably really about all there is to say about the machine. So I think that really covers most of the details of the machine. If I missed something, let me know and I'll come back out here and take a quick shot of it and tell you what I think. But my summary on it right now is it's a light duty machine that's doing good enough. I would like to use it for another year or two, maybe make some adjustments to how I plant, maybe make some adjustments to this machine, put some weight on it and keep playing with it and testing it to see if we can make it better and better and better. Long term, how's it gonna do? I mean, I think if you had a farm and you were gonna use this thing for 30 years to plant 100 acres every year, I honestly don't know. I don't know if it would do that. Like I said, it's kind of light duty. But for what I'm doing, I have 4 acres of food plots. I'm planting them twice a year. So I'm planting 8 acres a year. So let's just say 10 acres a year. And God willing, I live another 30 years. That put me in my mid 80s and I plant that every year. That's 300 acres. So all this thing has to do, its whole lifetime, is plant 300 acres. And with those old green drills that the farmers have, I mean, those things are made to plant thousands and thousands and thousands of acres over time. So, and they're built that way. So keep that in mind, I guess, when you're thinking about what you want to do. You know, you can buy brand new. It's only going to plant a couple hundred acres and you should be fine. Or go get one of those older grain drills. It's going to last you forever for sure. You might have to put a little bit of maintenance in it to get it going, but it's going to last. So, but it's probably not going to be a 3-point hitch. So you're going to have to do a lot of maneuvering. If you got square food plots that are kind of more like farm fields, you'll be fine. But if you got anything that's got curves to it, small trails that's kind of back in the woods, it's not easy to get those other drills back there and then maneuver them around to get the planting in. So, okay, enough mumbling. That's what I got. If you got questions, put in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer them for you. Thanks for watching.